He said he's not.
No, he's not.
Okay, guys, we are live. Welcome to episode 6 of the TFC Open Mic, and it's been another stressful week in the game. I know there's been quite a lot of changes since Tuesday's episode, but one of the changes that I think we're going to pick on first was the announcement of. One second, guys. Someone got. Has everyone got their YouTube muted? Because I didn't. so check, okay? Make sure you check.
What an idiot.
I just heard myself blasting through my ears, and it wasn't pleasant, so I feel sorry for you guys. But yeah, so it's the first subject we're going to hit on tonight is the hacking. Kixeye actually did introduce a new I don't even want to call it a system, but basically BP is now server side in terms of everything is happening on Kixeye servers on their side as opposed to ours. So that's their hack prevention. We were aware of it on Tuesday. In fact, I was aware that it was being produced for the last 2 months, but it was something that Kixeye didn't want to discuss publicly, and something they asked us as a show not to discuss publicly. But since they announced it themselves in the week in the forums, then great. That means we can talk about it because it's public. So guys, I mean, I've got a few views on it myself, but how do you guys feel about the installation of this hack prevention?
Well,
I think it's good.
go on, Lucy.
I was just going to say I think it's good. That's my input.
Well, all I was going to say was about friggin' time.
Yeah.
I can't stand the way they wiped out my dock, which is a pain, but I understand why. Because in doing that, they wiped out the damn hack stocks as well. But at least I know from now on, whatever ship I coin or build, the hackers can't get it because they can't hack. So everyone that's got the new toys will have paid for the new toys.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel good knowing that when you're going into a fight. Or an alliance fight, or battling with someone in the sector, quite often, if a player was, say, for example, launching a lot of fleets or had a really good fleet, everyone would instantly, it would just be natural for someone to say, "Oh, he's a hacker. That guy's hacking." And now you kind of know that well, at least you'd feel a lot more confident in saying that you're on more of an even playing field.
Yeah, I think, as G-Man just said in the chat there, I think the game players have to slow a little. I think you have to take a little more time on what you're doing, the processes, rather than just going click, fix, just a little bit slower. But apart from that, it's all positive as far as I'm concerned. I've not actually been affected this week at all myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't say that I've noticed any differences anywhere, but I've kind of been away from the computer most of the week, so... Gadget, since you've got your mic muted, I thought I would ask you for your input on it.
Oh, I think it's a good thing, man. I mean, anything that makes the game more fair is a good thing. And the only thing I've really noticed is pop-ups. I get pop-ups when I set a fleet repair in. I get a pop-up when I go to coin the repair. I get pop-ups for all sorts of different things in my bases, but that's good. That just tells me that it's working the way they want it to, right?
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, agreed. I mean, these pop-ups are obviously, that's because it's server-side, so it's obviously saving the actions you're making, and that's why it takes a little bit of time, and you get that pop-up coming up. But, one thing I do want to say is, I know everyone seems to be really pissed off this week about all these different lags and issues, and I've lost a ship, and this has happened. And I totally understand that. I mean, I can totally relate as to why people were so annoyed. But we've been waiting 4 years for Kixeye to release a program that stops hacking, or to do something about hackers. And they finally took a big step in doing so. And for that reason, I generally don't care. I don't care about any issues I've had in the game this week. I would gladly... accept those issues to have this new method in place. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Yeah, it's the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. This is definitely one of those cases. I haven't been affected too much. I haven't done a whole lot in BP this week, but even with so few bad things happening to me, they're trying to fix the issues, and it's for a good cause. I understand that people are upset and they're putting in proper questions to support and all that, but It may take a while, but I think it's going to be okay in the end, and it's going to come out better for it on the other side.
Definitely. Gadget, anything you've caught or want to talk about?
I just read the chat, big ears.
Right.
At least he's smiling now.
Exactly. At least he's smiling.
Yeah, he's done that too, Brian. Yeah, so it has been a tough week. It's been a crazy week, you know. And we've had well, I almost feel like I haven't had a chance to catch my breath in this game for 6 weeks, you know. Ever since that gigantic whip was rolled out on us, where it said we're getting OP8 and we're getting bass parts, and this is happening, and I was like, whoa, the game is just going to go nuts for the next 4 weeks. And that was March, you know, and now we're in April, and the month's kicking off exactly the same way. I mean, we've had 2 crazy weeks, big updates, big changes. I almost feel like I wish they would do nothing for a week.
I feel like this week's been so stressful. Like, I've been so stressed this week with BP.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say though, I like that they've been dropping all these offers.
Yeah,
right? I know some people look at it as, oh, Kixeye just money grabbing, but I look at it as I'm getting something cheaper than I would normally have got it. And honestly, I've hit just about every offer they've dropped.
Yeah, I've hit every offer they've dropped.
Do you know what I mean? And I think it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with so many turrets to upgrade, you need those offers. I mean, we need another campaign with 5 tokens in it as well.
Actually, a key point as well, very early on, I know you guys talked about it on the Tuesday show, but if you logged in for a certain time frame on Tuesday, immediately after the update, when it did the base parts thing where it was all wrong, you got a 12-day structure turret token thing, and I can't remember the last time they actually gave compensation like that, I guess unless you want to count the Scourge raid, but I think that's a good step. So many times we hear about, oh, my thing, you know, something got lost, something went wrong, and they say sorry, and they don't really do a whole lot. Well, they're doing something about it, and they're communicating a lot better. So it steps in the right direction, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only thing I feel bad for others is, like, a guy posted on the page the other day that I know, his name's Joe Anderson. He's not a coiner, and the glitch started, and he lost a ship, and he can't get any response from Kixeye, and he lost that ship that was almost done. You know, I haven't had any issues since the update, but I feel for them ones that hasn't paid anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, the coiners are who keeps this game afloat, but in situations like that, them people, you know, yes, they don't spend coin, but still they should be able to get some kind of help. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the guy who doesn't spend $50 in a month and therefore doesn't have access to support. Right.
Yes.
So this guy loses his ship builds and has no way of getting it back because he doesn't have access to support.
Right. His name is Full Throttle. He's in 138.
How does he not have access to support? Sorry.
Because if you don't spend $50 in a month, you don't have access to support, Lucy.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, tickets.
I
know,
thought it
I
was $50 lifetime of your account. Is it a month?
No, it's a month, mate.
Oh wow!
Oh, I didn't know that. When was that put in place?
A long time ago.
I wish I could spend
August.
$50 a month. I really do.
August 2015, August of last year. I'll try to find the actual forum post. I have it saved if you'll give me a few minutes.
I thought it was 50 one-off. I thought it was a one-off 50.
Or
I thought it was too. I don't think it was 50.
Double check it, but
As someone who does not qualify for ticket support, I feel even more fortunate, and that's who I really feel bad for, is the people that can't send in a ticket. Everyone on the forums, Doomerster, everyone's been saying, send in a ticket, and yeah, that's all well and good, but what if you can't? Like, you just lose a ship?
Can they not do a forum post? Can they still post in the forums?
You can post in the forums, you just can't ticket.
But the forums, the forum mods can't sort you out getting your ship back, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that sucks.
As far as I was aware, though, I mean, in most cases, and I say in most cases, but didn't Kixeye say that they'd sort of solved these issues now? I mean, how many people are still missing ships?
I'm still missing a ship.
I'm gonna Facebook that guy right now and see if he got it back.
I was missing a ship, and I got given 300 gold and not my ship back, and the 300 gold wasn't enough to take it to where it should have been, but to be honest with you, it took me 3 days to get that, and I really couldn't be bothered to argue with them anymore about it.
Information found, and I quote from Will Harbin's post-support changes, 12th of August 2015, going forward, if you have been playing the game for more than 60 days and have spent less than $50 in the game to date, you will not have access to live premium customer support, commonly known as the ticket system. So it looks like it's just $50 once.
I take that as $50 every 60-day period.
No, that's just $50 once.
Yeah, $50.
Because if you've been playing for 60 days and not spent $50.
Yeah, you'll now no longer have support.
You get premium support.
So does that mean that if I stopped coining right now and didn't spend a dime for say
because you've already spent $50.
70 days, I would stop having support at the 60-day point? See, it's not very clear about that though. It doesn't say over the period of your game life. It's not
because that information is actually irrelevant. From day 0 to day 60, no matter how much you spend, you will have the ability to put in a ticket. And beyond that, day 61 and beyond, you will not have the ability to put in a ticket until you have spent $50 lifetime on the account.
Does it say lifetime?
Spent in the game to date.
Yeah, it's just been confirmed in the chat that several people, one person hasn't spent for a year, and he's still getting ticket support now.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, cool.
Good job, chat.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I thought.
Brian is right.
So it's got to be a very small percentage of people who haven't spent $50 throughout the life of the game, I would imagine.
Hi. Hi, guys. I'm over here.
Do you not get tickets, Brian?
No, I have not spent a single dollar on this game.
Do you know what? I feel bad for you.
Right.
Look, from now on, you write a ticket and send it to me, all right? And I'll be your CS, okay? I'll respond for you. We'll just go through the whole process. I'll pretend to be your CS.
You don't have to do that, but thank you.
Does that mean you won't get back to him for like?
If you ask Liam something, it takes him like 6 months to get back to you.
Yeah, you're gonna make him wait for a week, Liam.
I said I would.
And then send him a cut and paste response.
I just can't wait till he starts spamming me because I'm going to be the most dickiest CS in the world.
It's the worst thing is every week on the open mic, pre-show I'll be like, "Hey, buddy. How about that ticket?" And as if you're like, "Whoa, we are unable to confirm or deny at this time that this is happening. Clear your cache, restart your computer, try again."
That's what I was going to say. Everything will be like, "Have you cleared your cache?"
I literally have my command prompt on my taskbar, and I can type in that command to clear my cache so fast you wouldn't believe it. I do it before every single battle because I'm not having this crap.
Yeah, I just heard back from Joe Anderson, that guy, and he has not gotten that ship back. And he started another build, and he was told by somebody that they may not give it back to him since he started something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was under the impression that if you'd started another build, they would instantly finish the build that you had previous.
Yeah, he said it hasn't.
Okay. Well, listen, let's has anyone got the post up of what was announced with regards to the hacking?
I can get it if you want me to.
I've got the forums open. I'm just trying to
find the information.
Find the information.
I don't know about y'all, but I hate the forums. I hate going to it.
Yeah.
At the moment, they are not exactly the easiest of things to look through.
Post-deploy issues, is that the one you mean?
No, I'm talking about... hang on a minute.
You know what? I love going on the forums and seeing people's rants. It's the most entertaining thing ever.
Oh, is it this one?
It does occasionally make me feel better when I read a rant. It's like that just happened on the internet. Wow.
Well, let's I'm going to read this out. This is the forum post. It says, "Greeting captains. As you know, yesterday's deploy caused a bit of a stir, and I'd like to take a moment to explain why." I love the way he starts that off. You know, it sounds like he's leading us into a great story there. Yesterday's release included anti-cheating measures that were put into place to stop hacks to the client. specifically invalid ship builds, ranks, and repairs. We closed a loop that allowed cheaters to hack illegal builds and play at unfair levels. This is why you now see a pop-up when you launch fleets indicating base saving actions. This feature was part of a suite of anti-cheating measures that we previously announced during the State of the Game post back in December 2015. I don't know if anyone remembers that. I kind of remember that. We will continue to make efforts to address cheating in all forms, but this release in particular should solve a lot of the common complaints from our fair players. So that's pretty much. I mean, what did you guys take from that post? If you were to try and explain that to people that didn't understand that.
They stopped the hackers hacking.
Well, I wasn't looking at it to be that simple, Lucy. Basically, what they did is they made everything their server side. So if hackers want to hack, instead of hacking the information our end, we have to hack into their end, which changes the ball, changes the way in which hackers can do stuff entirely. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm no expert hacker. I don't personally know. I don't know how hackers even go about hacking in the first place, let alone the differences between our server sides and Kixeye server sides. But from what I gather, the game should be a lot harder to hack now. A lot harder. I'm not saying impossible. Now, I know there's a few people who have put posts up saying, oh, wow, we hacked the game already. We hacked it the day after the update came. Bullshit. They haven't hacked it already. They couldn't have figured it out that quickly. BP doesn't have a player base big enough to command hackers of that level. I mean, it's not just any idiot with a keyboard now. We're talking about a completely different ball entirely.
The hackers that would be that good have much bigger fish to fry than...
Yeah, to come into a small little BP community, yeah. So surely you guys have got some more stuff. I mean, this was the part of the show that I wanted to focus on and talk about. So, you know, it's big news as far as I'm concerned. It's big. It's a big thing in the game. Is hacking. I mean, it's always been the biggest problem of BP, and it looks like Kixeye finally went for it. And most players don't seem to give a fuck at the moment. And excuse my French, but even in the forums, like, I would have thought that players would have been jumping up and down, rejoicing at this, saying, "Hallelujah! Finally, Kixeye, you did it."
I feel that they would have if everything also did not catch fire immediately after the update. They're immediately back to thinking about themselves right away, which is a bit of a shame, but I guess that's how it goes. Sorry, Logan, go for it.
I think it would have done, but I think it's because they killed our docs, mate, as well. I think if it hadn't killed off legit players' docs, that it would have been a lot better.
You know, I've seen a few posts of people like asking to bring hackers back.
Okay, but let me put this to you as well.
Wow, interrupted.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, Lucy, I wasn't sure.
It's fine, it's okay.
I thought that you were finished with what you were saying, but if you have something else to say, then please carry on.
It's okay, honey. You keep going.
Don't call me honey. That makes us sound old.
You are.
You know my name. No, I think all I was going to say there, Lucy, before I rudely interrupted you, was that we're in a phase now where Kixeye have, picking up from what you said once, so they have wiped our docs. They've said, look, all this stuff is gone now. All the previous holes have gone now. I mean, if they didn't do that and then they released anti-hack tools, then there would be hackers that have like maybe a year's worth of ship build advantage on you, and everyone will be doubting, saying, "Oh, did you hack those fleets before the update?" Whereas now we're at a sort of a new beginning in the game. A fresh start point with fleets, a fresh start point with how we're going to build moving forward. No more hacks. I mean, it's almost like BP's at the beginning again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that, mate, but it may be at the beginning again, but I just think of the thousands that I've put in to get to where I am now.
I know.
And it's gone.
It's not gone because you still have that. You still have that experience, that advantage, that level, and it would take players a long time and a lot of money to catch up with you.
But it is still a devaluation on at least a perceived investment. A lot of PvP drives sales, basically, is how it goes with a lot of these games. And not only has base hitting slowed down since the update, now probably the second most common thing that is being coined, that is ship builds, can't really be started or continued until this whole thing gets sorted out. So there is a lot of uncertainty in the community, and rightly so, I think.
You know what? If they get this new hull right, they're gonna make a fortune after this first raid.
Yeah.
If they get it right.
If they get this hull right, they're gonna make an absolute fortune. Because I for one, am anticipating coining a fleet of them as soon as I get it.
I, for one, anticipate coining my base to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. Well, there you go, then, mate. So that's going to be like double dip for them, isn't it? Because I know you're going to coin a fleet of them too.
I don't coin ships. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't mind myself one of those man of wars.
I thought we weren't going to see any more mega hulls.
Who said that?
Monster.
Well, Monster, being a guy that sat on a Hellstar and a Ghost Crawler.
And a Nemesis.
Have you got Nemesis?
Two Ghost Crawlers, not one, two.
I've got 2 ghosts.
And he's got the gamma things.
Yeah, they're not mega hulls though.
So I guess you were one of those players that was hacking before the update.
Do you have a Nemesis, Monster?
No, I don't.
Who is it that has a Nemesis again?
It's true saying.
I have one. It's nothing to brag about.
Hopefully they change it.
I did hear a little rumor though. I can't confirm or deny, but I'm under the impression that Nemesis owners are about to become very, very happy.
Hell yeah.
So,
Is he going to hit the Retro Lab?
I don't know. I don't know. But all I can say is someone posted somewhere. I've seen it in a page somewhere. This is not Kixeye, or no one's giving me any information. This was just a post I seen in a page by someone else.
That was 3 days ago. I saw the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it just said it, but it was from a reliable source. I would consider the person that said it to know.
Reliable source.
Reliable enough for me to believe it.
Mhm.
I've actually got the April event tips and tricks up as well. Has anyone seen this yet?
Yeah.
It was posted on April the 7th. So it was posted Thursday. But it's talking about... I'll just read it from the start. So the format of the raid is the same as the previous raids in the event cycle with some small changes. A, B, C set Draconian strongholds outfitted with Forsaken ships are available to attack. Targets are cooperative and completion is awarded to in order of priority. Well, that's the same as last raid. Complete sets to earn bonus payouts of event points. As before, hitting down will result in fewer points. So nothing's new there. I don't know why they said some small changes. Okay, I don't know why he made a paragraph out of that because that hasn't changed at all. But in the second sentence, he says that the level 101 Draconian Mega Holes has been removed. We all knew that was coming. And it's been replaced with an S level 110 Draconian Stronghold. This is a high-end difficulty target for only the truly skilled captains who have been warned. Sorry, you have been warned. So I think that was the one that we've seen in the preview server, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's nasty, mate.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen it. I just heard you guys talking about it. Yeah. So, okay, this is the news that I'm interested in. Do you know what? I'll tell you now. I have never won bugger all. I've never won a Nemesis. I've never won a Hellstar. And the closest I ever got to a fucking Ghost Crawler, that asshole Gadget won it. So I see that this is my time now. This is my chance to win the Man of War, the Man of War, as Zoe's Super Hull incarnation, on par with the Reaver Hellstar, the Scourge Ghost Crawler, and the Draconian Proto Nemesis.
You want to co-op some of them then?
You bugger off, mate. I'll co-op them with Lucy, just so we got a chance between us. Like most Forsaken ships, this hull specializes in ballistic damage. Therefore, I wonder what would be good against that. Maybe some puns. While its longer range cannons are a nuisance, if you fall in range of its shorter range siege cannons, you'll know right away the devastating power of this hull. Its ability to spray oil slicks throughout the combat makes maintaining your distance difficult, so be sure to take command of your ships and pilot them out of danger or use fire-field cancelling ships like the Frostburn Interceptor or Harlock Aegis. Well, let's be fair, those hulls are pretty outdated at the moment, so unless they're going to give them some love. Anyway. So guys, what's your first impressions of this hull? Has anyone seen any stats? I know I haven't seen anything on it. But.
No, nothing as yet.
My question is: are those short-range siege cannons going to be like the one, like anything we had in this campaign?
Well,
I doubt it.
Short range.
I'm wondering if they're even a weapon equipped, or whether it's its special ability is something to do built into it. I don't know.
Well, if it sounds like it's short range, mate, it sounds like you can just kite it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's the advice, isn't it? I think it says stay broad as you can. If you get into the oil slates, it's gonna let you slide into it and then open up with equivalent to their version of Earthshaker, but 10 times stronger.
I just know that I want one.
Yeah. You do not want to get close and slide into that, because that will hurt. Okay.
For the want of a better word.
See,
I came back on at the wrong time there.
See, going back to the raid though, right? If you're a smaller player, what hulls would you take?
How about we answer that once we get the list?
Yeah.
Well, if they offer Punisher, go for that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing is, all the holes on that list are going to be basically PvE holes. Every hole on that list, so you got to think to yourself, right? Do I have 6 Centurions? No. Then I better get them to do dubs. Do I have something to do mines? Do I have something to do weeklies? Really, that's all you're picking, isn't it? You're picking PvE holes now.
Yeah, but haven't they shot themselves in the foot a bit doing this hull end raid, because nobody's going to take the older hulls. They're only going to go for the Scents and the Punishers.
But there's going to also, didn't they mention that there's going to be specials, which is probably more important than hulls anyway, and there's going to be a blueprint market where you can collect pieces, and if you've already got all those pieces, then you can collect shards for hulls like this and Hellstar and Ghostcrawler and stuff like that.
They said they were going to rotate that daily, didn't they? It would be shards per day based towards a blueprint. And then that would rotate after 24 hours to a different type of blueprint sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I mean, you do bring up a good point. With most of the holes now being made quite old and quite sharp, what's worth collecting now?
I mean, there's one thing for sure, and if they don't get this raid right, and the prize list is not correct for all levels, there's going to be a massive change in the game number of people playing the game, I think, in the future.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I was thinking. I mean, if they put the Centurions and Puns in, are they going to be cheap enough for people to access, or are they just going to make them expensive? Because there's still 2 viable hulls within the game, like.
Well, I think that they should be very cheap. I think every hull in this game should be put in that lab and put in fairly cheaply, because they've devalued them more significantly. I don't know. That kind of shits on the players that worked hard to win them in the first place. But what do you do? I mean, there's no point putting a pun in there for 20 million.
What they're going to do, right? Oh, you're talking about in the hull raid, the price of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't know, man. I mean, honestly, a lot of the hulls that would normally people would be going for in a hull raid are not worth going for now at this stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? There's only really a couple of hulls that are worth going for. In my opinion, do you know what I mean? Because, there's only really the deflection hulls that are going to have much relevance to you, even in PvE, the way they're setting it up.
Yeah, even still, there's ways. Really, this raid cycle in particular, a lot of success can be had with a good frontline tank and Rhinos and maybe an Aegis. And I know Rhino was recently offered in a campaign, but even if you can't get the Punisher or the Centurion, hopefully, maybe the Heavy Cruiser will be back. And yeah, it's not the best tank, and it's really not built for siege targets, but it's something that a lower player would be able to work with. Kind of the same with Rhinos as well. Just
I would say Aegis, Harlock's Aegis, and Frostburn Interceptor, if they're offered,
Frosty's good.
are going to be good ones for people to get for PvE stuff, because there's no cold snaps or anything like that in the PvE as of yet, and so they're still extremely relevant. They help with the Wendigos and Forsaken missions and so on and so forth. So
Yeah, I know that Kixeye doesn't like to reduce the point totals required to get limited holes, but I kind of think they should, especially with the Frostburn. I completely forgot about that. It's a great choice. It was 15 million last I recall.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's no. Make it like 10 or something.
Yeah, they should definitely be cheaper. I think they should definitely be a lot cheaper than they were last time, in light of the fact of how much they've devalued them with the current changes to the game.
I mean, personally, my thought, I'm thinking V2H at something like 750k. I'm thinking the HC at something like 1.5 million, and I'm thinking the Frosty at about 6 million points.
Yeah. I mean, I think that another thing we need to bear in mind is sometimes it's easy to formulate your opinion from your own position in the game. And for me, like my position in the game would be that all those holes are obsolete. But let's rewind myself 30, 40 levels. I mean, a lot of these holes aren't quite as obsolete in the game at lower ends. It's just for end game players, I would say a lot of these holes are obsolete.
8C's not obsolete. 8C's a great hole still.
Imagine a level 50 running around with Punishers and HCs and stuff.
Punishers. I've got a Punisher fleet that can do all my PvE stuff. One fleet that can do all my PvE stuff. My HCs with a Harlock Aegis and scatterguns on them. You put a Blitz crew on that, and it's one of the most evil fleet v fleets that you're ever going to face, because you can't get away from it. Do you know what I mean? It moves so fast. They're already doing 40. You put a Blitz crew on that. It's starting with a combat speed of 80. And all it's got to do is get you in range, and them heavy scatterguns hurt, man. And there's no defense against them. Do you know what I mean? So they're still extremely relevant, man.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess looking at the prize list and thinking about what you're going to take, it really depends on your own position in the game as a player. Like for me, I'll look at the list and there's only like probably two ships on there I won't have, and that'll be stuff that was in Forsaken Arenas, and and I probably won't collect a great deal off of it. But that doesn't mean that the prize list is useless. It just means that for me, there's nothing I need, And I guess
you'll be getting the new stuff.
Exactly, and I'll be picking up some shards and helping out others in the alliance, and it'll be the same for if you don't have a tank, pick a tank, because you might not be able to hit bases with that tank, but you still need a tank for your PvE fleets. So I wouldn't go into the. All I mean is I wouldn't go into the raid with an instant negative opinion about the prizes because of the recent update. Go into it with an open mind and take what prizes are relevant to you as a player.
Yeah, just be sensible. Just be sensible about what prizes you take. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, there's going to be a lot of holes in front of you when there usually is when you have a hole store, and a lot of those holes aren't really going to do you that much good. There are certain ones that will, but then there are certain ones that are just total lemons now and really not worth the points, in my opinion.
I think personally, for those that have not got the kit that can get them through the Forsaken mission tier 4, I think hopefully there's something in there for them. And definitely something that can get them maybe to get some base parts, even if it's just the 70s, and then potentially something with some sort of reflective that may go into a retrofit lab later on, like the HC.
Honestly, I'd like to see Punishers be really cheap. They probably won't be, but I'd really like to see them be cheap.
I think Punishers should be cheap, mate. I really.
I think they should too, but I just don't expect it.
Yeah.
I feel it's a bit too soon. Although, I guess maybe in the future, if they want to make the Punisher like one of the better PvE holes, that could be something they could do to make it a little more accessible. But it was released in January. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a good point in chat there. Someone's asking for subs to come back in as well. I know a lot of people don't like subs and they think they've gone away from the game, but Banshees are still good for prep at the moment for some people, and Tigers are quite good for mopping up. For if someone's going to go and prep some 75U for you, a good Tiger fleet can zip around around the the area and mop up the last couple of ships. So they're still worth in some of this stuff, I think.
Oh, that would be the one fleet. That would be the one hull in the game that I would say hasn't been affected by any changes.
Tiger, yeah.
It's subs because at the end of the day, if subs get seen, they die, regardless of whether they have the resistance or the deflection. So the way that most people use subs is not. Those changes in stats are completely irrelevant to them. If you can prep out a base before the update, you can still prep out a base with subs after the update. So definitely subs.
The thing about subs is though they're so they're so it's so important about the value of the environment around them. In this case, it's thermal. Now that thermal has been introduced, dependent was the word I was looking for. They're so dependent on the thermal and such around them. Ever since the new changes to what was the 101 last raid, all of that, the huge thermal there, the thermal in the torque towers on this one for PvE, there's ways to counter it in base. I know Ren went over one in a base clinic. There's the ships with 80 thermal and such. Yeah, the changes to the turrets and such don't affect the subs, but the growing power of the thermal and the environment around them certainly does affect them. They're still useful, to be sure. It just they work on kind of a different level than the rest of the hulls when comparing relative power.
I'll say if you're going to take a sub, take the Tigers, because you can put anything on those subs and they will work. Whereas your Phantom Night Orcs and then they won't. But Tiger Shock, you can put scats on them or torps or whatever, like
Deluge.
Deluge, yeah.
Great fleet with Deluge.
I've seen a set like that.
I'm really going to be going for. There is one hull I missed, which I'm hoping will be out in this raid, and that's the Phantom Tiger. If that's there, I'll be going for it. Definitely. Probably be like 80 million for it or something stupid, but
any Phantom would be good because I want one for my Banshees.
I don't have Banshees.
Yeah, I picked them up. That was in the FAT, wasn't it? I picked up 4 from there.
I thought a banshee was an instrument you play.
No, that's a banjo.
Oh.
Where did you go? I thought you just vanished.
Who?
Lucy, you're loving fans. They're wanting you to speak.
My loving fans have turned into hating fans.
No, they haven't.
So I just want to give a shout out to the guy who hates my voice. I love my voice, and I'm really upset you hate it. But I'll be putting more input in so you can hear my voice more, and hopefully you'll like it.
I read that post too. I must admit, maybe.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's my alt account that I commented on there.
Anyway, so targets for this raid, the A, B, and C set. I noticed that even the C sets this time have got ships in, and the B set and the A set have got level 7 turrets. Just something to notice.
I noticed that, mate, as well in the preview. Like,
I didn't get in the preview. I was really annoyed about it.
No, I didn't do much this time myself, but I've been picking up on a few of the videos that were posted, and there was definitely 2 ships in most of the C set targets, and there was definitely some level 7 targets, level 7 turrets, sorry, in the A set, definitely.
I wonder if they're actually going to be the same as our level 7 turrets, or if it's going to be like it was when they switched out the Drac ships for the Forsaken ships. If it's just a graphical and there's no difference in damage.
It didn't appear so. I have to say, when I was watching somebody hit them with Earthshaker cannons on their puns, but until I have a go myself, I don't know. But he was obviously doing the clever thing and taking out that warehouse with the little pinky purple indicator on top first, and then taking the turrets in afterwards, which is the right way to do it.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be an interesting raid. I hope it's not going to be too expensive. That's just, if it is a whole store raid, and if it is meant to be like a 6-day event, then there should be a way for, especially with the way the game's been these last couple of weeks, it should be easy enough for players to get in there, grind it out, and collect a couple of holes. And I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about lower levels. I really hope Kixeye listened to what we said last month when we said that C-sets needed dumbed down, because I just feel that, especially with these changes, there should be a way for lower levels to just go in there and grab themselves a good hole, which is no longer as valuable as it used to be. You know.
I'm hoping everything isn't too expensive because I mean, I've built my rhinos now. My rhinos are done. I still don't have a tank for it, so this raid.
Can we just stop and get a clap for Lucy's rhinos, everyone?
I finally have a fleet. No, but wait. I don't have.
Oh, God.
I don't have a tank. So this raid is I need to focus on getting a tank and getting something for my guard. So I'm just hoping and praying they don't have high points or something because unfortunately, I don't know if my rhinos will do too good.
So at least a HC for you then. That's what you're after.
Yeah.
Was it rhinos you built?
Yeah.
I said centurions.
No, you didn't. My rhinos are done anyway. So, but
Hey.
I mean, and what?
She's her own person, you know, mate.
No, I know, but I was just.
Cheat no, I'm just hoping that there isn't too high points and the targets aren't hard. But is it the same format as the last raid? They're taking 101s away.
Yeah, it's almost the exact
101s are gone.
The A, Bs, and Cs are the same. There's the same number to hit, as in quantity per set.
Mm-hmm.
The content inside has changed.
Because they're co-op, Lucy, though, I can do what I do for you in weeklies. I can take that Punisher and set it in front of your fleet.
So again, low levels can get help with another member of an alliance or a friend or something, prepping, etc. Yeah, it's cool, I guess. I just hope it isn't too expensive as well. That's another issue, but we'll see when it comes out.
I'm a little disappointed that I used to be able to help my friend with his raid because I'd go into the 101s with him. He'd hit it, and then I'd finish it off the whole way. But now I can't do that, and I'm just trying to like figure out how I'm gonna, help him get all the new ships that he needs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that the 101 removal was a bit of a pain in the ass, but to be honest, I kind of expected it. Like I kind of felt that we were given a gift horse with the 101s. They were the easiest, fastest, cheapest thing to do, and they give out the most points. I don't think that was ever right from the start. So
I think people just figured them out a lot faster, and they changed it.
Well, maybe it's just everyone had the right fleets for them, but not the right fleets for the sets.
I had the fleets, I just didn't have the control, so I gave up and I went back to the A sets, which was much easier for me.
And if you have the fleets to do those, you're not going to bother building fleet for the actual raid because they're so different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess the 101s, like, you could get away with having a really old fleet, whereas the A sets, you're better off with more modern stuff, I guess.
Well, people were tanking them with rhinos, weren't they? And they're still doing fine.
Yeah, I was tanking mine. That I was using 3 rhinos, a Harlock's Aegis, and a Punisher, and I was doing A sets for 3 coins a set.
Nice. Well, I imagine you'll still be doing that this raid, Gadget.
No, this raid I'm going to run my Punishers because
I've Punishers.
Yeah, I've refit my my U-based Punishers to do all my PvE stuff. Mm-hmm. So they've sacrificed a little bit of ballistic defense in favor of some other defenses, and now they can do my Forsaken mission, they can do U-bases, they can do Draconian mines, they can do the raid. So that's what I'm going to be burning through because they're so much quicker. I mean, doing it with rhinos and a tank, you have to drive it, right? Do you know what I mean? You have to control your stuff and you have to be mindful of what you're doing with everything. With Punishers, you can just tank straight through. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You didn't build Centurions, did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Gadget wouldn't build Centurions. He was against Centurions from the start.
I thought Gadget built them.
No, I did not.
Do you not regret not building them?
Well, he said all along he was going to.
I'm very happy that I didn't because I can do everything that I could do with Centurions with my Punisher fleet. So
yeah, there's no point in you building them, really.
Exactly.
Well, I have high hopes for my Citadels this raid. I've been told that Citadels would do well, and I've worked with a few different builds now, and I feel that this build is right. I feel that this build's going to do it.
I'll just say quickly, those that have got Centurions and are planning on doing the B sets, just be very cautious of those rhinos that are in there. They're going to be nasty. So the more ships you'll be able to run, I get that, but you need to get to those rhinos pretty quick because otherwise they're going to retarget and hit you. Your Centurions aren't going to do so well.
Yeah, unless my Centurions don't run any missile defense.
That's what I was going to say. Your Centurions, unless you've built them specifically for this task, you would have had to add quite a substantial amount of missile defense to them.
Unless you do a quick refit and take layered off and put heavy plating or something on. But you also got the option of putting the flagship as a Savage Kodiak to get 50% missile resistance.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I never thought of that. That's actually what I'm gonna do now.
Well, you could also quite easily refit your armor special before the raid if you are planning on using Centurions. You could easily put RA free on it, or heavy plating free, or whatever you've got available.
Speaking of rhinos and retargeting real quick, if you're doing the raid and you're not sure where they're shooting you from, it's the Torp Tower. Just right now, let you know.
Well, I wish that my ships were as magical as their ships. I wish my ships would retarget off of buildings.
It's always been like that, though, isn't it? It's always been that way with them.
Maybe it's a special that they could release, no?
I just want that Torp Tower in my base. That thing hits hard.
Oh, that sounded so bad.
Say that again. Say it again, man.
Don't think so. You can replay it if you want to hear that again. The torch has been passed to me for the phrasing error of the week.
No camera, but Lucy's smiling.
Yeah, Lucy, where's your camera off?
I'm lying on my side.
Oh, great.
We don't need descriptions. It's bad enough now. You start chat off again.
I'm chilling. That's all. I'm just chilling.
So, guys, the Man of War. Any opinions on that? I know we've briefly discussed its description, but anyone actually have any views on it? What it's going to be used for?
Well, with oil slicks, it sounds like fleet versus fleet, mate. Yeah.
I think that sounds handy for your base as well, though, right? I imagine you got this thing sitting in your base, and its oil slicks are spraying all over your channel every time someone tries to come in.
Oh my god!
The only problem with that, mate, is that I had 4 oil rigs with the oil slick things on, and then when the fleet came into my channel, it obviously killed all those 4, and it slid right under my what's that new turret called? The glacial
launcher.
Yeah, it slid beneath all of that, mate. So there's pros and cons there.
I have it slide into gargoyles in my base. Stops them right under it.
Listen, stop jiggling away like a little child there in the background.
I'd like to know what the stats are on it. For the thing I'm most interested in is what sort of thermal has it got.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the thing I want to know the most. That'll make it or break it for me. If it's got like 100 thermal like the Hellstar, then awesome. I want one. If it hasn't, then
yeah, it would. Sorry, go on, Brian.
Am I missing something? Because I'm reading through this post. I have not yet seen any confirmation that the players will actually be able to own this. Is that somewhere?
No, I don't think we're going to get it. Not this raid.
Oh no, I doubt it's going to be this raid, but it's.
Oh, sorry then. Sorry, excuse me, guys. I've actually misunderstood that because I thought it was going to be a prize. I do apologise.
No, there's nothing that says it's going to be a prize this raid, but I reckon we'll probably see it coming into the rotation at some point.
We're against it this raid.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I've completely misread and misunderstood that then. Sorry.
But that's how it's kind of happened, though, right? I mean, it was the same with the Hellstar, that we went against the Hellstar, and then a little bit later on, the Hellstar was released, right?
So in like 3-4 months, we'll get the Man of War. Free ship, free skin idea. Jellyfish Man of War. There you go. Free skin idea, Kixeye.
I like the look of it from the picture. It looks like a cool picture.
It looks sleek and deadly.
It looks like an Avenger on top of a split-in-half Ghost Crawler.
Well, it's from what they're saying in the post that this is going to be sat and surrounded by Zoe's rhinos, which would mean that if you went into range, not only would the siege cannons from this thing be pounded on you, but you'd also be getting hit by the siege cannons off of the Zoe's rhinos. You know, the ballistic cannon that they fire.
Yeah, and does it overload like the Hellstar does? So, like, you know, if you're trying to take it out, is it going to overload the Zoe's rhinos and get you triple salvoed as well?
I think personally, all we can say is it's going to be nasty if you get close. Keep it away, kite it as best you can, and if you get anywhere near that oil slick, you better get some coins out. That's it, basically.
Yeah, and I would say that if you're running, like if you have some of those Punisher tanks, and maybe you have one or two of them available, refit one of them. Refit one of them to run all phalanx and the countermeasure special. I would refit a Punisher to all phalanx now, so that way you can fire down as many of the incoming missiles as possible.
Yeah.
Well, if they're blades, there's no way we're gonna shoot down all of them because they got that 85% flak evade.
So I just flicking slightly there. So Revenger is, as in the Avenger with a re on the front of it, is our fleet hull that's coming for PvP. Clearly no stats to date, nothing at all. But obviously it's going to have an awful amount of built-in stats to make it worthwhile to get through some of these new base turrets.
Well, there was, doesn't it say as you load up the game that it says the hull gets powerful every time a building is destroyed?
Yeah, so that's a play, isn't it, on what the Avenger does? Because obviously that, as a bit like the special you can add to it, as you receive more damage, it gets stronger and stronger, and it puts more power onto the rest of the fleet. But that was in the old FEF sort of stuff. So is this hull going to come in as a sort of a lead, and it'll just boost the rest of your fleet as it's making its way and making some progress through a base hit? It'd be interesting to see what it does.
All I'm worried about is the strength of our bases now. It's going to need a shed load of armor points. And you all know the more armor points you have, the more expensive it is to fix it.
Well, I think from Kix's perspective, if they're going to be designing this hull, and in designing it, they're going to need to design this hull from a base perspective where the base has outpost level 8, all the walls to level 8, all the turrets to level 7, transformers fitted on all their turrets, and all high-end turrets. Now that's the example bases that they're going to need to use in their test server to test this hull against.
That's mine in about a year.
Now,
yeah, how many people got that though?
12 months for me.
There's not many people far off from that.
So against us commoners, it's going to be a god.
Yeah, mate, I coin a lot, but I haven't got all level 7 turrets in my base and all transformers on all the turrets. Do you? That's a lot of coin, mate.
All icon is ships, not.
I'd be very surprised if the large part of the player base isn't at that point in the next 2 to 3 months. And
yeah,
the reason
2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months. That's one thing. So that means, they've got to be sorted this month.
3 months in a game.
But
3 months is too long, mate. They have to bring base hitting, like actual base hitting, back into the game now. Do you know what I mean?
This hull was meant to be. Hulls from now on are meant to have a 10-month shelf life. So if this hull is going to be powerful enough to hit bases, then what I'm saying is they have to balance it out and test it against bases of that level.
From the game load-up screen, powerful hull that excels in base combat endgames, defensive bonuses when enemy units are destroyed. So it's not as the ship takes damage, it's as you kill things. And my question is, do walls count as enemy units?
Do buildings count?
Oh baby.
Do buildings count? Or do only ships count?
Enemy units is pretty generic. I imagine at least turrets and ships will count. I don't know if walls or other buildings like resource generators will count.
Warehouses.
Yeah, things like that.
What I mean?
I have no idea. We'll have to see.
It's kind of vague, really, isn't it? Enemy units. That could mean a lot of things.
Do you know what would be interesting? It's if this hull comes out and it is such a big difference, and those individuals that do not coin are going to get absolutely annihilated, then they're going to have to do something like a limited campaign at one of the weekends that just does base updates, so you can just win tokens or something like that, so they can catch up. It's just be like, click and you can get you can jump to the next level, like the 12-day token you got. So you could win, a 5-day token, a 7-day token, or a 9-day token, and that'll allow people to catch up. And you can do it maybe 5 times. And that's the only way the non-corners can be able to catch up, make the campaign available. Not do it yet, maybe in 3 months' time. Otherwise, they're going to be miles behind for months and months and months.
Speaking as someone who still has 6 level 4 turrets, 1 level 6, the remainder level 5, and some unspecified number unbuilt, yes, please do
Brian,
that.
will you stop showing off about your base?
About how much of a scrub I am? Oh man.
I'm in the same position as you, Brian. Like, I'm currently trying to get my turrets done, so I think I've got 2 level 4s left, and then they're all up at level 5. Others are all up at level 5. Then I have to do them all to level 6, and it's just, it's time. So Monster's helped me get my base parts just now to try and reduce the amount of time that I'm doing it, but I can't keep relying on him to do that.
And the thing is, base parts don't help with the turret upgrades themselves, so that's
oh yeah,
that's
sorry,
like a minimum amount.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean they do help in re-equipping, and that's great. But there's still this minimum time wall that they've set in. They've helped it a little bit when they recently reduced the turret upgrading time by about 3 days ish to level 5s and level 6s. But it's still very big. I think that if how they used to. Go ahead.
Well, from 5 to 6 is what, 9? It's 9 days.
I worked it out earlier. I was on TeamSpeak with White Star, and we sat and worked it out. And it was like, I timed the turrets all by 10 days. Like, roughly, so it was like 9 days something to go to level 6. So I timed, obviously, the turrets in my base in 9 days, and it was like 4 months is what it's going to take me to do all my turrets in my base to level 6.
And that's an important part, is adding to what it says in game, because if you get hit, first you have to come back on to start repairing, and then the turrets take so long to repair that you're adding a day or 2 or 3, and then hey, you're back to normal.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, like how we used to have going rogue, you'd get the rogue crews once a month, TLC, maybe something like that for bases. 8 days, 10 hours, 7 minutes, 42 seconds to upgrade from 4 to 5 without an officer. From level 5 to 6, it is 10 days, 2 hours, 33 minutes, 14 seconds, and 6 to 7, 12 days, 3 hours, 3 minutes, 53 seconds.
It's just silly. It takes forever. That's the only thing in the game that I'm unhappy about is base stuff, and that's upgrading turrets. Because by the time I upgrade all my turrets, in 4 months' time when I'm done, guaranteed there's going to be something else out.
4 months, Lucy, that's not the point. You're talking a year from 4 to 5, 5 to 6, and 6 to 7. That's a year's work.
Yeah, to go to 7. I'm just calculating it from 5 to 6 just now.
But 6 doesn't get you the 2 special fits. You need both slots now.
I need to go to 7. Unless I put a loader coin on my base, I'm not going to get my turrets done for a long time. So, yeah. Please fix it.
Still going to be a farm for a while then.
I am a farm. I mean, I get smashed every day.
Does everyone plough your field?
Oh, for God's sake, man. No, but that is one thing in the game. If turrets could get something to get done with them, something that can get introduced to reduce the times of upgrading turrets, it would save a lot of people.
They've been dropping out offers for you to reduce the time on your turrets for the last couple of weeks.
But what if you can't? What if you're a non-coiner? Yeah, I've been buying that stuff and I've been doing it. Remember, I had turrets at level 4.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying they have been doing offers. I mean, it's not free, but it's still I still consider it that I'm getting it for half the price that it would have cost me if I hadn't got the offer.
The offers are brilliant. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're fantastic. It's not that. It's just the fact that they've reduced the turret times and it still isn't good enough.
No,
from my perspective.
I agree with you, Lucy. I do. The turret times are way too long. I don't think 9 days, 8 days, whatever days they are, is fair. I think that turrets should be like 5-6 days. I do. Regardless of the offers, for people that don't have 20 quid or whatever it is to throw at the game, they're not going to make use of those offers. I mean, and for the people that can just about afford that, why would they waste it on turrets when they can use it for ships to catch up in something else that they actually need to catch up in?
That's why I'm thinking a campaign would probably quite help. Even if it was just an unlimited campaign for those below level 70, say, and just say, right, there's a campaign for you, crack on. You get 1 week this weekend to do it, opposed to a VXP weekend or something, and it'll get you, like say, a 5-day, a 7-day, or a 9-day token, at each of the 3 different levels, something like that. And run it maybe once a month. Because that's just going to give them a little bit of incentive, maybe once a month to do something.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, you know, I mean, when they announced OP8, I had like no level 6 turrets. You know, so I'm sure that there's not many people that were in a different position to me. So how can Kixeye expect players to keep up when the updates in the game are coming more frequently than it's even possible to update upgrade from the previous update? And that's a problem they need to address. I kind of feel like it could be addressed with base parts because
It is though.
If you introduce base parts to that. Sorry, Monster.
No, they were doing this with ships, mate. Each month it was a brand new hull, and it was the best hull, and then 4 weeks later you needed the next hull, and blah blah blah. And now it seems to have switched to like your base. It's like each 4 weeks there's like another thing you've got to do. Like,
What about if we could upgrade 2 things at once? Like 2 turrets at once.
Well, you can.
Well, you
No,
can't.
you can't upgrade 2 turrets at once. You can only upgrade 1 turret, then you can equip an R1.
But that's already a huge leap from being able to do that at all.
That's why I didn't hear you there.
See, if they let you use base parts for it, but say at a 50% rate, right? Because if you've got all your stuff upgraded, you can get roughly 10 days off of equipping with base parts. So if they said you could get 5 days off an upgrade, I think that would make it a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, I agree.
You and I can get base parts. Brian, what about you? Can you get base parts?
I can get base parts for littler guys or guys that can't get them in my alliance and what have you. So it's not like it's impossible to prep them. All you got to do is leave one torp tower.
Yeah, that's what Monster does for me just now. Monster and you and Liam, like everyone just leaves a torp tower for me and I go in and I kill it. That's it. And I'd done a Drac base earlier for the first time. And Liam just left. That was, thanks Liam. And Liam left 1 torp tower for me and that was like 68,000 base parts.
I like how you say I did a Drake base earlier for the first time.
I was like, yeah, I done one. And then Liam's like, yeah.
But you know what? I had a sudden thought afterwards. I was like, what if she wins the Nemesis?
That would have been awesome, dude. That would have been so awesome.
He turned around and asked me, he went, Lucy, what would you do if you won the Nemesis just now? And I'd be like, yeah, that would be great. I'd just shove it in your face and he'd be like, yeah, bitch.
I think that would actually include a private message to Liam from Will Harbin going, ha 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 ha. Also,
Well,
to answer the question, I can get base parts reasonably well. I have a Punisher-ish fleet that's still kind of being built, so I can do it just fine. Although I feel like I'm very fortunate in my tech because I've been able to keep up pretty well without coining. I don't know how I do it, but I do it. So I'm more fortunate than I should be, but it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's I don't know. I feel that Lucy did pick up on a good point, and I feel that turrets upgrades are an issue. And I think it ties into everything, doesn't it? I mean, how are they going to balance this hull? Are they going to build a hull that should be in the level 6 turret criteria, or if this hull is truly going to bring back PvP, but to get past it, all you've got to do is upgrade your turrets to level 6 or level 7, then what's the point? I don't. That kind of puts me in a confused perspective, but I don't know. I mean, I don't. They shouldn't be releasing tech ahead of what players have got. It's a difficult one, and it's going to be really, really interesting to see how Kixeye work out the stats on this thing, for sure.
So just to change the subject then, so Stormcrow in chat is just saying predictions on the update for the NEM. What do you think?
It's going to be badass.
Deflection.
Deflection. Yeah, I was just going to say deflection.
Deflection and thermal?
It's going to need.
Color change.
I would think thermal would be a very important one. That's one of the things that I hear a lot of guys who have NEMs and don't have Hellstars complain about.
I tell you what, it needs combat speed.
True.
Yeah.
So does the Hellstar, mate, as well. That's slow as hell.
Well, the thing is, if they're doing the NEM, then will they do the Hellstar? Does the Hellstar need it?
Well, it needs deflection. It needs speed. It needs. I mean, if
the best thing they could do for a Hellstar is add a box that you could tick that stops it launching its drones.
Yes, and that as well, because that sucks.
So, like, if you had it in your base guard, that would be a solution to all the people with Hellstars
To hold them back.
who are complaining that they can't use the 50% dock repair, right? Add a little box in the dock in the fleet that when they tick it, it stops the Hellstar from launching its drones because it's in base guard mode, and then they can use it in the 50% dock repair slot, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, that's true. But then the way the bases are now, my Hellstar wouldn't get in a base.
You've got your
that's
Hellstar in the
supposed to
base,
be-
don't you?
No, to attack a base.
Oh,
And
right.
this is supposed to be a top hull, but it wouldn't get in a base.
No.
Lucy's got up-to-date Walla, whatever that is.
I meant to say walls, and then I just had seen someone saying floating turds, and I got totally, like, I went off rail there.
That was from chat, obviously.
They're talking about your base again.
What,
Just
floating
kidding.
turds in my base?
No, Ben, never mind. I'm just messing.
So we're top of the hour now.
We are. We have ran a little bit, but you know, it's been an interesting evening. I know we've been a bit all over the place tonight. We've kind of talked about a bit of everything, but sometimes, you know, you just have to talk about BP.
It proves one thing: we just don't know what's coming.
We just we don't even know what's coming in the next 10 minutes. You know.
We have
But
pictures.
yeah, pictures. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What?
Nothing.
So it's been a challenging week. You know, we've got the raid next week, and I'm almost sure we're going to have some information for you on Tuesday, whether it's public or not. Hopefully, we'll have something to show you on air regarding the prizes and the upcoming raid. You know, of course, we'll have our Tuesday show. I think the raid's kicking off Thursday, but we'll do some live streams. I'll be streaming the raid for the first hour from the Alpha World, and you know, we'll all be putting out as much information as we can as to ways to grind C sets, B sets, A sets, you know, lower level tactics. All that stuff will be on the page. So anyone that's watching the video that isn't already in the page, come and join us on Facebook and get the latest information. And for everyone that came out tonight and watched the show, thank you everyone for watching, and for all of you lovely people that came on the show, thank you very much. Does anyone want to have any closing words, or does anyone want to say anything?
I am so screwed this raid.
And on that note, nah, you'll be fine.
Let's just say good luck, everybody. That'll do.
Yeah, good luck,
Well,
Good
everyone.
luck, guys.
Still got Tuesday, and you know, one last note I will say is, you know, a lot of people have been, you know, slamming the update and talking about the update and asking for it to be reverted and all kinds of different subjects I've seen out there. But let's all just take a step back and think about what Kixeye have actually done here. They have done something that the players have been asking for months. We have asked for Kixeye to fix hacking, more so than we've asked for anything. More so than we've asked for that big sin word dry dock. You know, we have asked and asked and asked for hackers to be solved, and finally Kixeye have done it. Okay, shit went down. We've had a few mistakes. We've had a few glitches, but it was totally worth it, because now we can move forward with a cleaner and better game and a fairer game for everyone. So, from my opinion, you know, thumbs up Kixeye for that, because you've finally done something that we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Amen. Okay. All right. Well, listen. Good night, everyone, and thanks for coming out. And we will see you on Tuesday's show. It will be the raid show, so it should be a good one.
Let's wave, Brian.
Hi, everybody.
Have a good night.